Hello, my name is Jennifer, and I'm 18 years old, and I am the biggest coward ever. Well, what else can you call a girl who was so afraid of a serious conversation with her boyfriend that she did a lot of stupid things instead? Although I have an excuse, I don't think that ordinary girls face often what I've had to face, which is my boyfriend secretly paid girls on the internet for their pics. Well, now you understand, huh? It was so dirty, I was shocked. My boyfriend's name is Sam, and he is a couple of years older than me. Once upon a time, we went to the same school, so we've known each other since we were teenagers. Maybe that was the reason I thought I knew everything about my boyfriend. Well, how wrong was I? Come to think of it now, I can say that I could never trust Sam completely. You see, boys will be boys, so I often turned a blind eye to his behavior. But sometimes he really crossed the line. Sam and I were together for about 7 months. I think this was enough time to consider our relationship serious. But that didn't stop Sam from picking up other girls behind my back. It wasn't just a one-time occurrence that I'd noticed how Sam would glance at any pretty, at least a little bit pretty girl, especially if she was provocatively dressed. He didn't even care that I might be somewhere near at the time. For example, when we were at a club together and I went to the bathroom, I'd come back to find out that Sam had gotten himself a cute little companion. And this didn't just happen once. I'd just freeze and watch my boyfriend touch other girls' hair as she'd smile and seem to be blatantly flirting with him. But before I could get any closer to the scene of the crime, Sam would somehow get magically left alone. I was never able to hear what his conversations with these girls were about, but they were always short. And once I caught Sam in a lie. One weekend, we agreed to meet at the nearest mall and rollerblade at a roller dome. It was supposed to be a date, you know. But half an hour before we were supposed to meet, Sam suddenly called me, apologized, and said that he had something urgent to do. Nothing was surprising. I was used to Sam's active lifestyle. The fact that he was always going somewhere, meeting someone, hanging out at his college, and so on. I didn't ask Sam much about this side of his life, because when he started talking about his activities, he became very serious and even boring. So I was not offended, but just very upset. I was bored and had absolutely nothing to do, so I decided to go rollerblading alone. And soon I was walking past the food court toward the roller dome when I suddenly noticed Sam. He was sitting at a distant table in the company of some hot beauty. I could only see him from the back, but I knew that it was him. I did not need a closer look. I found a place to hide and stayed there anticipating what would happen next. What I saw shocked me. I didn't hear what Sam and the girl were talking about, but I could see that he was telling her something and actively gesturing. When he finished his speech, the girl nodded and suddenly took off her sweater. Yes, right there in a public place. Well, she was not totally naked under her sweater, but her tank top was tight-fitting and provocative. After that, Sam showed her how she should sit. He leaned back, straightening his shoulders. As soon as she repeated his gesture, he took her picture with his smartphone. I looked at this interaction in complete bewilderment, and frankly with some envy toward the girl. Her breasts were really big. Sam and the girl exchanged a few more phrases, and then the girl put her sweater back on and walked away. I also hurried up to escape from the mall. You see, I was in shock and I could not force myself to go up to my boyfriend and find out everything on the spot. I didn't want him to think I was a crazy jealous stalker. You see, I knew Sam was very sensitive when it came to the topic of jealousy. I knew his former girlfriend very well. Her name was Paola, and she also went to our school. Paola was very passionate and quick-tempered. She often created drama for Sam and was jealous of him, after which she literally tormented and tortured him. In fact, I now seriously suspected that Paola had a reason to be jealous. In addition, I managed to steal Sam from her even when they were still in a relationship. But this has nothing to do with my story at the present moment. I just didn't want to be like Paola. I thought that if I repeated her mistakes, Sam would get angry and leave me. So I needed more evidence of his betrayal than what I had just witnessed. Because of this, I did something that I am not proud of. I broke into my boyfriend's phone and into his cloud drive. Yes, I know this is terrible, but what else could I do? And this was no worse than what I found in there. Sam had a bad memory, so he had a habit of writing all his current passwords from his accounts on a special post-it. He folded it and attached it to the inside of his wristband, so that if necessary, all his data was always with him. Sam thought I didn't know about this post-it, but I did. Once when he stayed overnight in my room, I quietly, so as not to wake him, took this post-it and Sam's phone and sat down at my desk to examine everything carefully. I tried to do this silently, but I almost cried out when I unlocked his phone and saw hundreds, maybe thousands of pics of girls in there. All these girls were beautiful and intentionally behaving provocatively in these photos. Someone was pouting their lips, another one was playfully twisting her hair on her finger, another was opening her mouth, some unfastened the upper buttons of their shirts or pulled up their t-shirt to show their flat stomach. Disgusting. It felt as if I had found myself in someone's Instagram account or even some other website. This feeling got even stronger when I looked at Sam's messages. It turned out that he was paying money for every one of these photos, dirty pervert. And when I opened Sam's cloud drive and I saw the volumes of his archive, I decided that he was also a terribly wasteful, dirty pervert. Still in a state of shock, I returned all of Sam's belongings back to their proper place and tried to go to bed. But I couldn't sleep. I kept seeing the photos of these beautiful, disgusting girls when I closed my eyes so vividly, like I was still in there browsing his cloud. I didn't understand why Sam was doing this, but I understood that I could not talk to him about it. He paid these girls for their photographs, but could this be considered cheating or betrayal? I do not know. I had broken into his personal belongings, and that was definitely a betrayal on my part. Besides, I continued to snoop even further, and I found out that some of the girls in the photos also paid Sam. It seemed that the payments were done for some photos, too. I rummaged through everything I could looking for his photos that were worth paying for, but I couldn't find anything. I also tried to understand Sam. I tried to communicate with one of the girls through his phone. Sam had so many conversations that he did not even notice another one. I tried to build a dialogue with the girl in order to get some kind of explanation from her, but she did not speak English well and just kept demanding money. I paid her and got another dirty photo from her. It was a very strange feeling, but I tried to feel what Sam felt and understand how much pleasure he found in this process. But I couldn't make myself feel a thing. I was just a fool who had paid some girl for her photo. Then I decided to try to assume the persona of one of these girls. I never knew how to be popular on Instagram, but everyone has the internet. I watched dozens of tutorials on how to make yourself a perfect Instagram look, how to look spectacular in photographs and all that. I thought that I would send Sam my picture and let him know that I knew everything and that I was ready to accept him as he was, and that I was ready to experiment together with him. But none of my photos looked good. They were neither beautiful nor disgusting or dirty. They were just ridiculous. So I gave up this thought. Time passed and I finally lost my temper and had a big fight with Sam. I didn't care if I looked like Paola or not. I had kept all of this inside of me for too long. But it turned out that Sam had an explanation, and this ruined me completely. My Sam dreamed of becoming a model scout. He wanted to follow in the footsteps of his stepfather and even surpass him. Currently, his stepfather owns a modeling agency, but back in the day he started by meeting girls on the streets and picking out the most promising of them. Sam decided that nowadays it is much more reasonable to look for girls on the internet, but in real life he also did not miss the opportunity to make a business proposal to a suitable candidate. Sam was simply building a database of interesting girls while he was in search of a sponsor, and he paid money for the opportunity to use the photos he received. Some girls asked Sam to create a full portfolio for them, and then they paid him to process the photos. I felt terrible after seeing the entire puzzle from Sam's point of view, but I went in for an attack again with the question of why he hadn't told me anything. Sam reminded me of Paola and said that she did not believe in his future in this profession and called him a disgusting pervert. So Sam wanted to explain everything to me as soon as something started to come out from it. But this did not convince me. I yelled at my boyfriend, walked away from him, and then blacklisted his number for several days. But later I discovered that I was on his blacklist too. That's how I broke up with my boyfriend. I don't know which of us made the most mistakes, me or Sam, but it seems to me that I was not the only coward.